Well, obviously, UFC 225 is upon us, so it'd be terrible not to make some terrible bets, wouldn't it? But, I mean, first off, yo, Romero. Jesus Christ, for sure make weight. Good God, that is so irritating. But, for now, yeah, bet the house on Romero because I'm pretty sure that I think it's a ridiculous percentage of fighters that have missed weight this year have actually come out with the win. I think Meatball Molly is the only one who didn't. So for sure, bet the house or Romero. But I think my favourite bet this week has got to be my old warhorse treble. So I am going with the old warhorse Clay Guida, the old warhorse Rashad Evans, and the old warhorse Alistair Overeem, all to win. That's like 16 to 1. I mean, it's never going to happen, but yeah, fucking hell. I love terrible bets like that. Hashtag terrible. But obviously, I've put on a load of other bets on this one because it's a really good card. To be fair, I don't really need to bet any money on it to make it interesting, but you know, I always will anyway. But yeah, so I think one of my favourite bets. Now, it's a bit out there, it's a bit outlandish, but I'm looking at the matchups, and I do think Overeem has got a real chance. I mean, Curtis Blades, obviously, when he smothers people, he smothers them. He's actually really quite good at that. It's not the most exciting style in the world, but he did have some problems with Hunt. Hunt was like kind of hitting him like in the second round against it. But you know, again, if Hunt didn't have the power to put him away, will Overeem? There's always that argument. And Overeem's got a bit of a glass jaw these days, but the one thing that I do see is that Curtis Blades, he shoots in over and over again. He's relentless. However, that could maybe work into Alistair Overeem's favour because people forget this, but Alistair Overeem has got one of the nastiest guillotines the heavyweight division's ever seen. He used to get people with it all the fucking time, and I think that he's got a good chance of getting to. I think if Curtis Blades just shoots in over and over again, especially in the first round, before they get a chance to get too slippery and sweaty and whatever else, I think that Overeem is going to just grab a hold of that head. He's going to just twist it up real nice because he could twist your head off your neck like a bottle cap. That dude, like his guillotine is excellent, and I just think he's going to get that up there, get the tap tap, the tap tap. So I'm taking Overeem by submission in that one, and I've paired it up with a bet on Holly Holm. Holly Holm obviously fighting Megan Anderson. Megan Anderson is she's got a lot of hype behind her. Like a lot of people are saying that she's going to be the only person to give Chris Cyborg a real fight. I mean, I think that remains to be seen. But I think that's a horrible matchup to throw you into the UFC against Holly Holm. Like if your striking is not on point, she will pick you apart. And I think that's actually what is going to happen. I think that Holly Holm is probably going to use her distance, use her striking. She's going to be able to keep away from her, and she's going to frustrate Megan Anderson. I think she goes 2 rounds up very, very clearly, and then Megan Anderson is going to come out and do something silly in the 3rd round. Holly Holm is going to get the knockout in round number 3. So, I put that together with my other bets, and I can't even remember what the odds were on that. And I'll just quickly double check. I think it was something stupid like 150 to 1. But yeah, 150 to 1 ish, there or thereabouts. Because I used the fucking bet boost on William Hill, which is excellent. Because like as long as you place your bets all throughout the week, then you're golden pretty much. But I mean, the thing is, I'm also definitely going to be taking Romero. I've got another one with Romero, Whitaker. No, Romero, Covington. Fuck's sake. Okay, Romero, DeSantos, and Tai Tuivasa, all to win by stoppage. Like so on Bet Victor, I think it is. They've got this thing where it's like win by submission, TKO, whatever. So it's just a stoppage basically. Those 3 all to get the stoppage. That's like 20 odd to 1, something like that. It's I think that's a decent bet because I do think that I was leaning towards Romero anyway, and now that he's missed weight, I just think that it's the way the tide is kind of turning. So yeah, Overeem. Oh bloody hell! Yeah, it must have been. That is a pretty good bet. Yeah, so Holly Holm, in round number 3 and Alistair Overeem by submission. That's a ridiculous bet. I put a fiver on that. It gets over 1,000 back, so I can't even work out what the odds are on that. A couple of 100 to 1 easily. Yeah, about 300-ish to 1. But either way, that's a fucking terrible bet. It's so unlikely. Just about as unlikely as my 9-fight accumulator. You've always got to put on a crazy 9-fight accumulator. It's got to be done. So, I'm going with Clay Guida. I genuinely think he's going to win that. Clay Guida's looked absolutely brilliant in his last few fights. You know, fair play to him. I think that he's going to get that. So Clay Guida to beat Charles Oliveira. I mean, Oliveira's no slouch, but I've just got a feeling. Anyway, I digress. So, Guida, Sergio Pettis, Anthony Smith, Ricardo Lamas, Curtis Blades, Tai Tuivasa, Holly Holm, Rafael Dos Anjos, and Romero all to win. That's a fucking stupid bet. It's like 500 to 1. So, fiver on that. Terrible. Just terrible. What a fucking awful bet. And like I said, in my old Warhorse bet, I don't know, I like putting on a silly one every now and again. Just see if the old Warhorses can get it done. That'd be nice. You'll notice that I've left CM Punk and Mike Jackson off of my bets because I could not care less about that fight. I really couldn't. I do kind of hope that CM Punk gets it, just because, you know, I think that to go back out there, I mean, he's shown that, you know, he's got the balls to step out there and do it. I don't think it should be in the UFC though. I mean, I'm not alone in this opinion. Pretty much everybody that knows anything about mixed martial arts pretty much shares that opinion with me. That it just shouldn't be happening in the UFC. But let's be fair, I can totally see why they've done it, because he's gonna sell pay-per-views. He's gonna put an ass every 18 inches. He's gonna sell tickets. So, you know, it's not the end of the world. It's. I don't think it's going to be particularly spectacular, but I mean, if I was going to bet on that one, I'd probably go with Mike Jackson, just because. I mean, I've watched some of his amateur fights, and he knocked some guy out in one of his amateur fights, and his stand-up, whilst he didn't look great, he did look 100 times better than CM Punk did against Mickey Gall. But who is the one loss that they both share as well? I think that's interesting. So they're both Mickey Gall victims, as they say. But, yeah, I think it's going to be a really good night of fights. So Carla Esparza against Carolina, what's her name? Claudia Gadelha? Am I saying that right? I'm probably not saying that right. But either way, I think Carla Esparza, she hasn't looked good since she won like the Ultimate Fighter. I think she won the Ultimate Fighter, and then her first title defense. I mean, obviously, you know, correct me if I'm wrong. Her first title defense was against Joanna Jędrzejczyk, and obviously she got battered. I just think, she had like her one move, her wrestling, and if she can't get him down, then it's curtains, really. I mean, obviously the other fight I'm really looking forward to. I do think that Rafael Dos Anjos is going to get the finish against Colby Covington. I hope he does anyway. Not that I've got anything against Covington, because, you know, I'm a big Chael Sonnen fan, and let's be fair, he's not really doing anything that Chael Sonnen didn't. Chael Sonnen set the kind of groundwork for that style of trash talk, very scripted, very out there. You can see he's kind of playing a part, which is good for him. He's talked his way into an interim title fight, another interim fucking title fight. For God's sake, just call it what it is. They'll become the number one contender. Stop giving away a fucking belt at every turn. It's ridiculous. Tyrone Woodley hasn't even been out that long. I mean, he's actually ready to return like in a couple of months. So what is the point? Because then you end up with, like, you know, it's all a bit of a fiasco. They've advertised this fight card as having 2 title fights. Bullshit. You've got no title fights on that card. Do you know what I mean? It's just, and do you know what I mean? And to a certain extent, it doesn't even matter. They're brilliant matchups. Do you know what I mean? Covington against Dos Anjos, that is a great matchup. I'm really looking forward to seeing it. Romero against Whitaker. I'm intrigued to see the second one, because I would have picked Romero anyway. Now that he's missed weight, I'm definitely leaning towards him, because I think he's going to get the knockout. Because how do you go 5 rounds against Romero without getting knocked out? It's very difficult. Whitaker did that once. But how do you go 10 rounds against Romero and not get knocked out? And after the 5th round, Romero's stamina bar goes back up to 100%. I just don't see it happening. I don't see him avoiding it for that long. Also, you know, you've got to bear in mind, Whitaker has been out for about a year now. Like, he just hasn't been active, and that's not his fault. But it also doesn't change the fact that if his timing is off by a millisecond, if your timing is off by just a whisker against Joel Romero, you are going to pay for it. And you're going to go to sleep, you'll wake up, you won't know where you are. I think that is more than likely what is going to happen tonight. But what the fuck do I know? I don't call these good bets, do I? They're fucking terrible bets because I am wrong most of the time. But fuck it, you have a bit of fun with it. I am going to enjoy the hell out of these fights. And I hope all you other MMA fans out there enjoy them as well. Because, it's this card, it's what we've been waiting for a while. It is stacked from top to bottom. And it's going to be a really enjoyable night of fights. There's bound to be a few good fights on there. Look at that lineup, for God's sake. If they're all duds, then, they've done something wrong. But either way, looking forward to it. #terrible.